Namaskaram, everyone. Hope you can hear me well. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good. Everything okay, right?
Fine. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So we're going to start Kena Upaniṣad, um, Viśiṣṭādvaita commentary by Raṅgarāmānuja. Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmad Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmad Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrisimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Purnamastu. At the very outset, I have to say that the method followed by me is a little off, particularly considering the Viśiṣṭādvaita commentaries. The Viśiṣṭādvaita commentary set strictly believes the series followed should be in the order of Isha, Kena, Kata, like that. The regular order which is mentioned in many places. That is the right way to study this Upanishad. Otherwise, the concepts don't fit in properly. And the methodic development of the subject matter will not be understood. So this was made very clear by my Guru Sampath, my grandfather's brother, who taught me a long time back. And particularly, he mentions very clearly that such methodic study is not being followed among Viśiṣṭādvaitins in general who study the Upanishads. Right now, we are focusing on Viśiṣṭādvaita studies, right? Viśiṣṭādvaita view of Kena Upanishad. But what my grandfather at the very outset said is, if you don't study the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, the Kena Upanishad does not make sense, perfect sense. You can still study and understand what Kena Upanishad is telling. We already did it. We already studied Shankara Bhāṣya and Kena Upaniṣad. So yes, we can go ahead, but that won't really fit in properly. If you read the Viśiṣṭādvaita Bhāṣya, the subject matter is taken slightly differently. Having said that, I have to make small changes here before we get into Kena Upanishad. Viśiṣṭādvaita Bhāṣya, we had forgotten to address a couple of issues we brought in the Shankara Bhāṣya. In Shankara Bhāṣya, the word abruma pada was used with a future tense in the Vakya Bhāṣya, but actually the abruma pada is imperfect past. Our friend Koile has sent some information about the usage of Sanskrit, right? But one point I want to add to what was said is Chandasi Kala Vyatyayaha or something. There is a rule. You can go read the rule somewhere else. I may post it in the group sometime later. In Chandas means in the Vedas. The Vedas, it is pre-Pāṇinian. That means Vedas were always there before Pāṇini wrote the grammar. So there, some lakara or the tenses don't follow the rules laid down by Pāṇini, and that is okay. So the rules followed by or given by Pāṇini may not fit into the Vedic Vāṅmaya. So here and there you see the usage of lakara or the tenses differently, slightly different in the Vedas. So the abruma pada, as understood by Vakya Bhāṣya, is not an error. It fits in with the Vedic style, where it predates the Pāṇini grammar. So that is okay. So I did not know that, thanks to the internet friends of mine, Sudhanshu Shekhar, V. Subramaniam Swamin, and many others who told me that such usage is not an issue, and similar usage of Chandas taken differently in the Vedas are cited by Shankaracharya in different other Upanishads. Shankaracharya and probably other Acharyas also in many Upanishads. So it is nothing, that's the way it is. And I was told even in the Bhagavad Gītā, Pāṇini grammar here and there is a variation which probably goes slightly against the Pāṇini grammar. So that is also found in the Gita. So we need to be careful when you understand grammar, particularly when you study Vedas and Upanishads. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing I want to let you know is, just a second. Second thing is, that is the Abhruma. Okay. The other thing, what I mentioned is, His Holiness Sachidanandendra Saraswati mentions that the Pinda Matra Abhimanaha, or in the Vakya Bhāṣya, what he says is the word Pinda Matra Abhimana, which says that Indra and those devatas had Shariratma Brahma. Shariratma Brahma means they thought Sharira is Ātman. That means that becomes that ends up being, that amounts to saying Indra was a hedonist or an atheist or he believed that only experiences are real. Atman is not real. There's no question of Atman or something. It becomes to that level, and that is not appropriate according to His Holiness Sachidanandendra Swami. But honestly, when I questioned this and when I asked my friends to comment on it, some people clearly came out outright and said Sachidanandendra Swami is not considered in Advaita, among Advaitic scholars. He is not considered to be a great authority. Some people question his knowledge of Advaita or question his views of Advaita. This is clearly the way people talk about Sachidanandendra Swami. This is nothing new, because his theory on Mula Vidya are not acceptable to many Advaita followers today. So there is a controversy there. But personally, I'll be honest with you, whatever Sachidanandendra Swami clearly said, here taking it as Pinda Matra Abhimana or Shariratma Brahma kind of a thing is not so appropriate. That seems right. But other Advaitic friends of mine did not agree. And they said, look, even if the killer of Ātman, Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad mentions, Ekecha Ātmahano Janaha. So the thing is, what if Indra is also like a Ātmahana? The thing is, that is not appropriate, because the Indra terminology doesn't even come in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. There is no mention of the, here and there, there's a, they mention they are like Devas or Devas don't know about Atman and all, about Isha and all those things. It comes up in Īśāvāsya, but not in this context. This seems to be a little too far stretched. But it's my opinion, and maybe Sachidananda Swami's opinion. Many of the Advaitins disagree. They say that there is nothing wrong in the Shankara Vakya Bhāṣya or in Shankara Pada Bhāṣya. And they also cite, like even Sachidananda Swami cites in the Upanishad, his book itself. There, I recently found a book called Shankarananda's Kena Upaniṣad Deepika, and then Narayana Virachita Kena Upanishad Deepika. These, particularly the Narayana Krita Upanishad Deepika, clearly mentions that Vakya Bhāṣya and Pada Bhāṣya are definitely authored by Shankaracharya, and there is nothing wrong with it. You cannot understand it or misunderstand it, thinking that the Shariratma Brahma or Pinda Matra is an extreme thing. Maybe Shankaracharya actually commented in that way to indicate that even a great devata like Indra made mistakes, right? So maybe a temporary mistake. At that time, he became very ignorant, right? So everybody goes through phases. So those two aspects which I mentioned about the grammar and about this Shariratma Brahma may not be perfect. It's just my view as I understood at that time. I'm willing to understand new things, willing to be corrected, but I want to be honest with all of you as what I understand today and that's why I'm reporting to you. Hope, see, this is like you're not listening from a guy who understands everything already, and he's teaching for the 20th time this Upanishad. You should definitely find such a teacher and ignore me. And if you don't find such a teacher, we're all studying together here. That's the whole idea. Hope everything is okay. So far, okay? Any comments?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Now, let's go to Kena Upanishad. Let's come to a little bit of introduction to Kena Upanishad. Today, I don't have um, a PowerPoint to teach. I was searching through so many things as to how to start this, Kena Upaniṣad Bhāṣya. First of all, I will send you the book, and this is one of the books I am referring to. This is from Melkote. You might see the Kena Upanishad Melkote. So this is, I ordered this book a while ago. This has got how many bhashyas? 4 bhashyas or something. And I'll tell you which bhashyas they are. They are from Pratipadartha Deepika, Prakāśikā of Raṅgarāmānuja, Ananda Bhāṣya, and Subodhini commentaries. So these are all 4 commentaries are listed in this particular thing. We mainly will follow Raṅgarāmānuja Bhāṣya, which is known as the Prakāśikā. And here and there, if I get to the Uttamur Swami's comment on it, that would be a good thing to follow. So this is an introductory lecture. I want to give you all possible background. That's all. Okay. That's one thing. I also got a Kannada book, Kena Upanishad, published. You can't see properly, I think. Yeah, it's tough. So this is also published by the same Melkote Press. And I will also be teaching from notes. I found notes written by my grandfather, Sampath Iyengar, on Kena Upanishad. And I will rely a lot on his assessment. He did teach me a couple of Upanishads long time back. And his ideas are very powerful. Okay. Then, what else I need to say in the very early part of our lecture today? Okay. Let me start with some of the ideas I want to share from my grandfather's book. Let me see where it is. I'm going to share some of the so I don't have a PowerPoint as per actual PowerPoint I don't have, but I want to share some of the thoughts from my grandfather's introduction to Kena Upaniṣad. They're very valid, particularly when we are studying Viśiṣṭādvaita Vedāntas. So what, first of all, according to my grandfather, Ramanujacharya heavily relies on sage Nammalvar, who is also known as Shadagopar, for his interpretation of Vedanta in general. So, Tiruvalmai is what Nammalvar has given us. And according to Sampathaiyangar, Tiruvalmai has so many details of the yogic experiences of Shadagopa. One, to really understand the yogic experiences of Shadagopa, of Tiruvalmai, it's just not enough to study the commentaries on Tiruvalmai. Maybe in the commentaries you will have a lot of details, there is no doubt about it. But one has to really understand yogic experiences. If I remember right, even Manavala Mamuni talks about yogic stages in his commentaries. So, learning yoga, understanding yoga is very important to understand the depth of Nammayvar's experiences. And from there, you can understand how Ramanujacharya thought about Upanishad Bhāṣyas in general. The other thing, important point mentioned here is upāsanā and yoga in general has to be first understood through the eyes of Bhagavad Gītā, because Bhagavad Gītā is a yoga shastra and a Brahma Vidya. If one does not understand Bhagavad Gītā properly, the yoga stages cannot be understood correctly. That's one aspect. And if you look at it, even Shankaracharya goes from a slightly different way. He gives prominence to the Upanishads and uses ideas from the Upanishads and interprets Bhagavad Gita accordingly. So what the author here states is Bhagavad Gita is very powerful because it came straight from Krishna himself, who is Yogeshwara. And his words have to be carefully understood. And the trick to understand Gita and then understand the Upanishads. And it also falls in the general category of Itihāsa Purāṇābhyam Vedam Samupabramhayete. So, in the light of the Itihāsas, you have to understand the Vedas. If you look at Itihāsa, that means Ramayana and Mahabharata are Itihāsas. Ramayana is a Dharma Shastra. A lot of Dharma can be learned through Ramayana. In the Mahabharata, the main two philosophical portions are the Vishnu Sahasranama and the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is, in the light of Bhagavad Gita, if you understand the Vedas, it will be easier, it will be better. That is the view of the Ramanuja Sampradaya, and very well explained and picked up by Sampathaiyangar. I'm sure the Tamil people would know a number of Tiruvalmoi sentences which says that the path is shown by Krishna in Gita. Such ideas are there in Nammayvar's Tiruvalmoi in different citations of the 1,000 hymns by Nammalvar. I'm sure the Tamil people who know Tamil very well remember those lines. See, if you look at the different kinds of upasanas explained in the Gita, I think there's a lot of work done by Viśiṣṭādvaita commentators like Kuranarayana Muni and all of them, many of them together, to clearly understand the yogic stages and gradual development of yoga in the Gita. And such information is also there in Nammalvar's Tiruvalmoi, and going in that direction is very useful. Some people think, right? Study of Sri Bhāṣya should be taken up first. And many of even on the internet, general people, after studying some simple texts, they immediately jump to Sri Bhāṣya study, and that is common among many scholars even today, particularly the Viśiṣṭādvaita scholars. What this author says is you have to first study Gita and the Upanishads very clearly. Upanishads, line by line, you need to understand Upanishads very well. For that, the traditional people say, well, Upanishads are directly cited, and there is a work called, if you study Sri Bhāṣya, obviously there is another work called the Vishayavakya Deepika. Vishayavakya Deepika, written by Raṅgarāmānuja, right? So you can study the Vishayavakyas. The Vishayavakyas are actually the statements or lines given in the Upanishads, Upanishad Vakyas, right? And relevant Upanishad Vakyas are cited by Raṅgarāmānuja, and these relevant Vishayavakyas are the ones cited by Ramanujacharya while explaining Sri Bhāṣya. But what Sampathaigar here says is that is not sufficient, because some of the Upanishads are not even mentioned by Veda Vyasa. They do not come up in the Vishayavakya at all. Kena Upaniṣad, Mandukya Upanishad are not cited by the Viśiṣṭādvaita Acharyas as Vishayavakyas. Okay, so to get the context of the Upanishads, you have to study the Upanishads themselves directly, not just jump into Vishayavakyas and try, or Sri Bhāṣya, and try to understand that. That is not the right way to understand Viśiṣṭādvaita view, according to Sampathaigar. So with this, I will try to send you the books written by my grandfather. It is not edited. Once they are edited, I will send this the notes and work of my grandfather. That will be useful for you to understand many things. So what he has done is he has studied the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. In fact, he wrote a book on Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, and also studied Vishnu Purana of Parashara, where yoga is in depth, understood. And in the light of yoga, he explains Kena Upaniṣad. That is the way he does it. Okay, with this we'll start with the Kena Upaniṣad. So what my grandfather has said is, you have to understand at least a little bit about Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad before you step into Kena Upaniṣad. So what we will do is we will just simply read the mantras of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad and just get an idea of what the Viśiṣṭādvaita view of the Upanishads are. We are not going to go into detailed study of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad at this point. Only a mention, as because the last mantra of the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad is very important for us to understand the Viśiṣṭādvaita view of the Kena Upaniṣad. That's why. So with this, I will send you this introduction written by my grandfather so that you can read it properly. I think I have covered most of what he has said here. Another point he mentions is Kena Upaniṣad comes from Samaveda, and Samaveda has a Śānti Mantra, and that Śānti Mantra is very important because it's the Śānti Mantra itself has the gist of the entire Kena Upaniṣad in just one mantra. So we have to understand Kena Upaniṣad in the light of Śānti Mantra. That's also mentioned here, and that's pretty important to understand. With this, let me do one thing. I will go show you the some mantras of at least we'll go through Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad a little bit. Everything okay so far? Do you understand what was said at this point? Any questions so far? Because
It's okay.
introduction
It's
is
okay.
important and you need to understand the introduction properly.
It's very much okay.
Very much okay. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay. Let's go into, I'll show you some of the, any comments? Let me see where I have, okay, sorry. I'll show you, where did I put it? Oh. Just a second, I think I put that Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad somewhere. This is not the one. Okay. This is Kena Upaniṣad. Oh, yeah, it's right here. I can go through. I'll show you Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. This is like Anandarangachary's book. Let me just a second. I have to check something before I share that. Hold on a second. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Īśāvāsya Sarvam, you see the mantras here, right? Hello, can you see?
We are seeing.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, the main aspect of Īśāvāsya is this. We'll just go through an overview of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad very quickly. We will not take Shankara Bhāṣya here. We will only take a Viśiṣṭādvaita view of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. Om Īśāvāsyam idagam sarvam yatkinca jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magrataha kasvasvidhanam. It first clearly states that the entire universe is pervaded by Lord Isha. Isha resides in this universe. So everything belongs to Isha. So give up, nothing belongs to you. So live a life of sacrifice where nothing belongs. You're using actually borrowed information, borrowed facilities, borrowed objects from this Isha. That is the main point right at the very beginning, Īśāvāsya makes. And then it connects how actions and jnana, karma and jnana are related. Of course, what the Viśiṣṭādvaita view is, karma gives you, karma done with without any desire for the fruits and without any agency, offering the agency and karma phala, everything to the Lord, that karma does not bind. Otherwise, if you don't do the karma, they will go to hell. Asurya namate loka andena tamasa prataha. So if you don't follow the rules of karma, do not dedicate it to the Ishvara, and karma becomes binding. When the karma binds, the karma will slowly, eventually throw them into lower life, and they will go to blinding darkness, and it is known as hell. So then it comes about the nature of Ishvara. It's very fast, faster than mind, and it's faster than anything. Even the devas, nainat deva apnuan puromarshate. The devas could not see him. That means he's faster and earlier than the devas. So the devas could not understand, cannot understand this Ishvara. So it's far and near. It's far for the for the asuric tendency people. It is near for the sattvic tendency people. And it is inside everything. Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya bhahyataha. That Ishvara is inside and outside everything. Esu sarvani bhutani Ātmani eva anupashyati. Sarva bhuteshu Ātmanam tato na vijugupsate. Here it says, one who sees this Ishvara inside everything, inside himself, that person will never be upset. He does not loathe anything. He does not be disgusted by anything, because he knows that everything in this universe is ensouled by that Lord Ishvara. So the thing is, if a person focuses on everything ends up in that Ishvara, in this meditation, that person will not have any delusion or sorrow. One who sees that same Ishvara is antaryami of everything. He is the inner controller of everything. He does not have any shoka or moha. That means he does not have any dukkha or sorrow or delusion. And it goes and explains that thing is that Ishvara does not have any problems like body. He does not have body which fails or which eventually perishes. That Ishvara is all-knowing, and he has created this universe with so many other deities like the Chaturmukha Brahma, the Devatas and all the cycles occur. The cycles means the cycle of the Kalpa, the day and the night of Brahman, the creation of all these, every being here and in other worlds. This is happening forever. This creation, preservation and dissolution is happening forever by the power of this Lord Ishvara. And those who follow avidya will go into darkness. Those who, here avidya is taken as karma. Karma alone leads to darkness. Vidya or jnana alone leads to darkness, blinding darkness. One who uses both, so karma and jnana together, he is in the right path. That is what openly this says. Obviously, Shankaracharya takes a different view here. So for a Viśiṣṭādvaitis, karma is not against jnana. Karma is contributory to jnana. Karma is an anga. So karma gives you purity of mind. Also, it gives you Ishvara prasada, or the grace of the Lord, because you are following the rules laid by the Vedas, which is actually Ishvara's will, sankalpa, or in Tamil what they call Tiruvullam. So vidya and avidya both are necessary. Vidyancha avidyancha estadveda voyagam saha avidya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashrute. So here vidya is taken as karma jnana. In the Shankara Bhāṣya, it takes it as totally differently, unrelated to karma and jnana. Very differently he interprets. But for the Viśiṣṭādvaita view, you have to understand it is karma and jnana. Then they talk about asambhuti and sambhuti. That's a little complicated. We don't need to know, okay, at this point. Even there's a combination of sambhuti and vinasha, which is prescribed. हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्य अपहितं मुखं तत्त्वं पुषन् अपावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये. It says there is a golden covering and the satya, the truth or the Ishvara is hidden. Oh Lord, Pushan, you are like the sun. Apavrano, take away the ignorance, take away the covering so that we can see you. Pushan ekarshe emasurya prajapatya vyuha rashmin samoha tejaham yatte rupam kalyanatam tamam tatye pashyami Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad soham asmi. Pushan ekarshe, that means it is addressing that Ishvara as he is the sun, he is the one Rishi, he is Yama, Surya, Prajapati, everything behind all the Devatas, he is one. Samoha Tejaham. Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami. Your divine, wonderful Rupa. Look at this. The Rupa is actually the form of the Lord, which is Kalyanatama, most auspicious. I see that Rupa of this Ishvara. Whoever is the Rishi who is saying this, I see the form of that Ishvara, and Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad soham asmi. That Purusha is same as my Antaryami. Here, so aham asmi is not I am the same Purusha. He says he is my Antaryami. That's how Viśiṣṭādvaita understands it. Vayuranilam amritam athedam basmantam shariram kratosmara 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 kritam smara. It says that, look, our lives is not in one place. We are moving around from body to body to body, and each bodies will die. And basmantam shariram, our bodies have to end up in the crematorium, right? Kratosmara kratos. Please remember, O Ishvara, whatever little I have done, please remember. Please remember. It says again and again because the Rishi realizes that the body, he is not in control of time. Life goes on, and diseases and death can come very soon. There is no prescribed expiry date for us, right? So he says that whatever little I have done already, can you remember and help me out? Agnenaya supata raye asman. I was in fact learning Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad based on the one book I bought. I think yeah. See the way the Upanishad should be said here is Agnenaja supatha raje asman vishvaani deva vayuna vidvan yuyodhyasmad juhuraname no bhuyishtante namavuktim vidhemam. I'm still learning the right pronunciation here, the ragas. Excuse me if I'm wrong. So this is very important mantra in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, and this connects to the next Upanishad, Kena Upaniṣad. That is why we are studying this. Agnenaya supatha raye asmane. Agne means it's addressing that same Lord Ishvara as Agni. Why Agni? Agnir Neta, right? He is the person who leads us. Agre Nayati, he leads us. Supatha raye asman. Look, take us in the right path. If you look at it, one would simply say in the traditional way, oh, what is Supata? Supata means take us. Look, there are so many paths. People go into the Pitriyana path, which is Dhuma Marga, where we come back again and again to this cycle of births and deaths. There is other known as Archiradi Marga. In the Archiradi Marga, people will go and don't come back and eventually reach Vaikuntha, where they can meet, serve Sriman Narayana. We are taking only the Viśiṣṭādvaita commentary here, nothing else. Okay, just we remember that. Agnenaya supatha raye asman. The yogic people think that supatha means the right paths. That right paths are right within your body. There are 72,000 nadis in your body. And the nadis are psychophysical pathways. Psycho means mental. So the yogis can directly see themselves progressing in these pathways. So the yogis can see most of us who are not yogis, obviously, their consciousness is in the lower level chakras of our body. So what happens is they can only understand animal experiences, love, hate, attraction, jealousy, anger, kama, krodha, lobha, all these things are lower emotions. So just like animals, this is very natural for human beings to have. Even the best among human beings may have lower level experiences and feelings. When will they understand? When will we understand Jivatma, Paramatma? Only when we go through the nadis inside our bodies to the right path, then we understand realization of what this body is about. What is the nature of this experience here? What is Jivatma? What is Paramatma? All these paths will become clear if they pass through the right nadis. In general, in the Viśiṣṭādvaita text, they will say it's Archiradi Marga. Archiradi Marga comes, they explain different ways what that Archiradi Marga is, but the yogis know that there is a specific path, specific set of paths from which they can get realization right here while living and also reach Parabrahma after leaving body. So the thing is, please let us cross this path because there is Juhurana our papas, the sin has given crooked paths to us. Why? We get deluded by our ajnana, which is caused by sin. So take me away from these deluded paths. Let me not get stuck in the deluded paths, the wrong paths, the crooked paths. Bhuishtante nama uktim vidhema. We offer you all the prayers we can. We shower you with our prayers. Nama uktim vidhema. Here, the Viśiṣṭādvaita commentary says this Nama is nothing but Sharanagati. It is total surrender to that Lord Ishvara. Because we don't have anything else. You are the protector. You are real. You help us. If you cannot help us, nobody else is there to help us. And there's nothing known as Nirguna Brahma according to Viśiṣṭādvaita. We have already talked about it in different ways. I wanted to give you an introduction based on Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. Is so far everything okay? Did you understand? Any doubts here?
Yeah, most there is a common thread in all our scriptural study. The thread is Brahman, and each one has a different way of expressing how to get to the Brahman. Am I right in that?
That's
the common
true.
thread.
No, what is the context here?
Yeah, it is understood very well because here also he emphasizes on the aspects of Brahman and how to reach it, how to reach him. And
True. So Īśāvāsya, in fact, the 18 mantras of the Īśāvāsya Upanishad is supposed to be a summary of Bhagavad Gītā itself. Because Bhagavad Gītā has 18 chapters. And these 18 mantras sort of fit into the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gītā. So if you take Bhagavad Gītā as a summary of all Upanishads, and that summary is summarized in Īśāvāsya Upanishad. That is the beauty about the Īśāvāsya Upanishad. According to Viśiṣṭādvaita thinkers. Any other comments, questions before we go to the next section? Okay. So now comes the Kena Upaniṣad. And in Kena Upaniṣad, the first mantra we need to study is the Śānti Mantra. And the Śānti Mantra is, let me explain what the Śānti Mantra is. I hope there is, 1 second, please. Just a minute. Okay. The Kena Upaniṣad Śānti Mantra is this way. Samavediya Kena Upaniṣad. That is so it is in Samaveda. Pratamah Kandaha. Om Apyāyantu Mamāṅgāni Vāk Prāṇaśchakshuः Śrotramatho Balam Indriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmaupaniṣadam Maham Brahma Nirakurjam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaramastu Anirakaranam mestu Tada Ātmani nirate ya Upanishadsu dharmaste ma'isantu te ma'isantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is the Kena Upaniṣad first mantra. Now we'll study. Still, I have to practice the swaras properly. That's my problem. I've never done a good job about it. Going after too many things in life. 50 years of wastage, searching for money and good life. So I apologize. Here, Samavediya Śānti Mantra Pataha, we will understand what this means. Apyāyantu Mamāṅgāni. That means, let my limbs be happy. Vāk, prāṇa, chakshuhu, śrotram, atho, balam. That means, let my speech be straightforward. Eyes, ears, and my senses, let it have the strength. Śrotram atho balam indriyani cha sarvani. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. So, this Brahman who is everywhere, who is immanent everywhere, who is Antaryami of everything, all these things are in the Upanishad. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. Let me not deny Brahman. Ma Brahma Nirakarot. Let Brahman not deny me. Anirakaramastu. Let Brahman not deny me. Let me not deny Brahman. Anirakaranam mestu. Tadatmani nirate. Ya Upanishadsu. Dharmaha. Mai santu te mai santu. Whatever dharmas, whatever attributes are explained in the Upanishads, which are necessary for me to understand Ātman, let all the prerequisites be in me so that I can understand Brahman. Here in this Upanishad, one thing is clear. This is the Śānti Mantra. It says, I should not deny Brahman, Brahman should not deny me. So both the aspirant and Brahman are real. Both aspirant and Brahman are pretty much communicating all the time. So it is not that one should be denied. I don't exist. The universe doesn't exist. That kind of a meaning doesn't come in this Śānti Mantra. The Śānti Mantra is very clear that this is, we both exist. Let me understand you. Hope this explains the Śānti Mantra. Any doubts on this Śānti Mantra?
As far as I am concerned, I have understood.
Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah. So now we go into Kena Upaniṣad as an introduction. The first mantra in Kena Upaniṣad is, we already went through this because Shankara Bhāṣya is very clear on Kena Upaniṣad, right? So we don't have to go through every mantra of Kena Upaniṣad. But first we have to study what is the purpose of Kena Upaniṣad after studying Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. This is the connection we need to understand. The connection is this: Ishvara is the Lord, and he is farther, and he is not even reachable by the Devatas, according to Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, right? He is faster than the Devatas. Nobody understands him properly. Nainad Deva Apnuvan Purvamarshate. He was there before the Devatas, so the Devatas could not reach him. He is faster than the Devatas. It's all these things are clear. Then the question comes up. In the Kena Upaniṣad, that is, actually it exists in the Samaveda, and there are there is upasanas on prāṇa upāsanā is there. Different devata upasanas are there in the earlier khandas of the Upanishad. Apparently, the earlier Aranyaka portion of the Kena Upaniṣad is not even accessible to us. We have, nice job, Indians. We have lost the entire Aranyaka prior to the Kena Upaniṣad. So we have lost a lot of information. But that is where there is a prāṇa upāsanā, the method of pleasing, worshipping different devatas, including the prāṇa. Prāṇa is taken to be a very fundamental devata, because without the prāṇa, the Vedic seers realized. We talked about this in Shankara Bhāṣya, right? In Shankara Bhāṣya, when we introduced, the prāṇa seems to be our real life. So that is the most powerful thing. Why don't we appease that prāṇa? That is the idea the earlier portion of Aranyaka talks about. So the question comes up automatically here. Do we need to please the Devatas to understand that Ishvara, who is so difficult to understand? So what is the nature of the other accessory things we have? We have the indriyas, our own senses, our own body, mind and intellect. Do we need a devata or those devatas who are the abhimani devatas of our indriyas to help us out in the pursuit of Ishvara? This is the purpose in which Kena Upaniṣad starts, and that's how it deals with the interaction of that Ishvara in the form of Yaksha with the Devatas, which are explained in the Kena Upaniṣad. So this is the introduction. This is the connectivity between Ishvara and Kena Upaniṣad. And throughout the Kena Upaniṣad, Ishvara is assumed. The Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad is assumed. And in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, value was given to karma, and karma was not taken as opposite or opposing to jnana. That's a significant point the Viśiṣṭādvaitins want to bring in. The question of jnana and karma being opposed to each other does not exist according to the Upanishads, according to Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, according to what Viśiṣṭādvaitins think. So they directly oppose the idea of Shankaracharya, who mentions that karma and jnana are opposed to each other. This we need to understand. I want you to think. Don't take my word for it. Think. If you have questions, come back to me. So all this assumes that all of you should be doing some study of your own. And whatever books you need, you let me know. If I have copies of the books, I will share that with you. So that is the introduction given. We will do the first mantra today and stop. Okay. Keneiṣitam patati preṣitam manaha kena prāṇah pratamah praitiyuktah keneiṣitam vācamimam vadanti chakshuhu śrotram kau devo yunakti. Here, the word meaning according to Kena Upaniṣad here is Kena means by whom, preṣitam controlled by, propelled by whom, manaha mind, ishitam goes and understands desired objects, patati goes and meets the objects, perceives the objects. Pratamah prāṇah, There are different pranas, right? Prana have 5 pranas. Prāṇa, apāna, vyāna, udana, samana, all these things, right? So the thing is, in that, the prathama is prana, the main prana. Kena yuktaha, who controls or who propels that prana and makes it work in our body. The prana seems to be working, that's why we are active, we are living. Kena prajaha janaha ishitam imam vacham. So they look at the Kena ishitam, twice it comes. Kena ishitam patati preshitam manaha. The next one is Kena ishitam vacham imam vadanti. Here, Kena ishitam is understood as ishitam vacham. So the ishitam means liked. Ishitam means desirable speech. So how do people talk that which is desirable? That is speech which is friendly, speech which is likable. Such speech, how do people speak? Chakshushrotram kaudevo yunakti. How the eyes and the ears operate. Ka'u means kaha is who. So here ka'u devo yunaktu means which god or which devata is making our eyes and ears function. So this is the meaning here. Right? So the guru is approached by the shishya, and the shishya asks these questions. So who is behind all these entities? That's the only thing here in the first mantra. So, see, instead of going mantra by mantra, which you already know, if there is any specific different understanding or something according to Viśiṣṭādvaita, I will mention. Otherwise, I'll directly go to the conceptual differences between Viśiṣṭādvaita and other systems of thought. That would be more easier. Don't you think that would be better instead of going line by line every word of the Raṅgarāmānuja Bhāṣya? What do you think?
As we've already done Kena Upaniṣad, you can just give us the. We've done Shankara's version of Kena Upaniṣad, so we can.
True, yeah. Only where there is a difference, I will mention according to Viśiṣṭādvaita. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. All right, then. Today I will not take up much time, and then we are already almost on the hour. Was this introduction useful? Are there any questions regarding the introduction? How people should study the Upanishads? What are important? What is not important? And also the guidance of the Alvars, which are very important to understand Ramanuja Bhāṣya in general or Viśiṣṭādvaita in general. Any other questions here? No? Okay. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मत्परमगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मत्सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंह परब्रह्मणे नमः श्री लक्ष्मी हायवदन परब्रह्मणे नमः सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. Hope I will have a lot more to talk next time. We'll pick up Kena Upaniṣad, Raṅgarāmānuja Bhāṣya. I'll try to do a lot more work, prepare a lot more before starting the next class. Hopefully that will be of some use to you.